Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. You might have already noticed, on a more serious note, serious shifts are taking place. They are transforming the plastics industry, and as a consequence, Covestro has a very clear approach towards turning the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals into reality. Now, Covestro explicitly advocates a comprehensive and global approach towards all of these sustainable development goals. Now, I know that this is very abstract, so I'll take you through 3 examples very quickly, okay? Goal number 2, for example, is zero hunger, as you have seen. Now, behind this is the question of how we want to produce, distribute, and consume our food. And if you look at the local farmers in developing countries, for example, you can see they face a major challenge. They produce more than enough food, but sadly, most of it ends up in the trash. They simply do not have the capacities for keeping it cool. Now, this applies to an estimated 30 to 50% of their harvest. Enter the solar dryer. It was developed in cooperation with Dr. Sermjan Jai from Silpakorn University in Thailand. And this functions as a sustainable drying system for fruits and vegetables. Now, how does this work? Open up. The solar dryer employs very high temperatures. Thus, it dries products like bananas, tomatoes, chilies, or even herbs. This extends their shelf life enormously. And of course, it is very energy efficient and eco-friendly. Now, Covestro delivers the raw materials for this project. It is used for the PCS bar plates you can see, and they have superb insulating features. Now, this system is really easy to transport, and it can be assembled locally. More than 500 of these are already in place in Thailand. So the bottom line, the solar dryer reduces the risk of food spoilage. 50% less have to be thrown away. At the same time, the solar dryer contributes to society. It improves the farmer's income without polluting air, waters, or even soil. Which brings us to our second quick example, the Sustainable Development Goal number 13, climate action. Now, at Covestro, this is about energy-saving chlorine production. Now, it's about 2/3 of all chemical products that need chlorine for their production. For example, plastic. Now, the kind of energy you need for that is, of course, electricity. Actually, you need quite a lot of it. You could say we're constantly needing too much. And Covestro helps to change that. Together with their partners, they developed a process that reduces the amount of electricity needed by 30%. How? The principle of chlorine production has been well known for more than 100 years, you could say. It works via electrolysis, of course, meaning you have a current that you send through the saline solution, and the novelty within this process, with this newly developed by Covestro, is the hydrogen-producing electrode is replaced by a so-called oxygen depolarized cathode. Now, this was developed by Covestro, and it works with 2 volts instead of 3. Thus, it only needs 2/3 of the voltage. If we would use this process for Germany's entire chlorine production, it would reduce Germany's total power consumption by 1%. Now, in the upcoming years, Covestro will introduce this process into their plants, and it saves up to 40,000 tons of CO2 per year. Which brings me to one last quick example, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 8, decent work and economic growth. The answer from Covestro is the Startup Challenge. With this, Covestro offers a worldwide internal competition where courageous entrepreneurs are sought out and approached. Now, the special thing about this is, it is a great chance for in-house startuppers. They get the opportunity to really independently push their business idea until it reaches market readiness. They are entrepreneurs within the enterprise, you could say. But first, these entrepreneurs have to convince others of their ideas. they have to pitch them to the board of management, as you can see from Covestro. And ta-da! They have succeeded. Yes. And now the two winners are relieved of their normal job duties because from now on they run their own startup. They have 12 months, they get 1 million euros and even a little time to party. And they have to turn their idea into a reality. Now, as you can see, the startuppers have quite a lot on their plate. Most importantly, they have to learn a lot. Thinking like an entrepreneur, trusting their own efficacy. But of course, they are not entirely on their own. Together with their team, they work in the workshop or in a lab where they constantly improve their idea. And finally, the product is ready, yee! And it turned out to be better than ever imagined. Good thing. Now, they have to find someone to sell it to, of course. So off you go, boost those sales. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these examples show how Covestro employs the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals for our planet's brighter future. And of course, we contribute in many different ways, big or small. For example, by furthering digital technology and the way we can help people move ahead in their own life.